Hi, Phyllis here from southernfrugal.com. I had a comment made by Regan Fox, and he was asking about potatoes that had a sauce, a white sauce on them that his grandmother used to make. And I do think I've done a video, I think it was one where I had the fried okra. Can't really remember. I've done a lot of videos recently. But I think that I made these potatoes then. But anyway, today I only had 5 little small potatoes. They were about that big around. And I'm going to go ahead and make that because I think it'll go great with the hamburger and gravy we had yesterday. So anyway, I'm going to fix that. But first I wanted to give you this little tip. If you're in the South and you're used to putting fatback grease in your green beans, now, don't know if this will work with something like collards or something like that, but I know it works with green beans. A little bit of extra virgin olive oil and just a couple of dashes of garlic powder will give you a taste very similar to if you had put fried out fatback, till it was brown and crispy, and used that grease for the green beans. It tastes so similar. You really won't know the difference. This is the only thing I think it works in is the green beans. I've never tried it in like collards or anything like that, but it definitely works in green beans. Now, on that note, I buy a case of 12 green beans at a time, and I get them at Aldi's. Now, the equivalent out west in this country would be Trader Joe's. But sometimes I can actually get a can of green beans and of course their brand for 49 cents a can. That's a great savings, okay? Now, not always, but sometimes you can. So I usually get a little pack of 12 cans when we get them. All right, so moving on to the potatoes. Now, my grandmother's mother, I believe, was from Scotland. And I actually think that my granddad's grandfather was from Scotland too. They settled in central North Carolina. So I think that's sort of some Scottish background there, which meant they had a lot of potatoes. Now, they didn't really eat rice. They ate potatoes, made in every way imaginable. But one of the ways my grandmother made them, and my mother and my aunt, was what they call stewed potatoes. Now, to make that, you just cut your potatoes up in little squares or strips, however you want to cut them, and cook them just until they're done, so they don't have much water in them. And then, of course, you're going to salt them. And then, now I'm going to use a half a cup. If you had a big pot of potatoes, you'd use more than this, but a half a cup of just regular whole milk, a heaping teaspoon of just plain flour right in that milk, and then it takes a little bit to mix it up. I just use a whisk. And even if you don't get it mixed up, if there are little lumps in it, that'll come out as soon as it starts to boil. So you want to just mix that up and dump that right into your potatoes. Now that's going to thicken the water that was in the potatoes, and of course the milk will thicken. Now this is somewhat, it's like a white sauce really. So I'm also going to put a couple of little patties of butter in there and just bring that back to a boil. Now you have to watch it because it will stick to the bottom, so as soon as it starts boiling you want to watch it, then stir it a little bit so it doesn't stick. All right. Hamburgers from yesterday, heated up in the microwave. Got the green beans with a little bit of olive oil, maybe a tablespoon, and a couple of dashes of garlic powder. And I am warming up the 2 biscuits in the little toaster oven. Now, I make my biscuits a great big pan at one time and just freeze them, and then just take them out like 2 at a time when we're having a meal. To me, this is a very frugal way to have biscuits when you want them, but not be, always having to make biscuits. Alright, now this mixture is boiling now. I want you to look at it. It's barely come to a boil. That butter's melting. And you'll have to adjust the milk and the flour according to how many potatoes you're cooking. So it doesn't take but just a minute for that flour to cook in that milk. If you get it too thick, just add a little more milk. There's what it looks like. Now my grandmother called these stewed potatoes. Now Regan's grandmother, I think he said put parsley in them, and you could certainly do that. Now that's just a little bit thick for me. I'm going to add just a touch more milk. Cut my burner off, be right back. Just a little touch more milk. Now this definitely changes the taste of the potatoes. They just taste different. I'm not sure why, but they do. And I actually love them like this. And this is, you know, we also call these country potatoes. And I do think I've had these on a video before. So all you're really doing is adding milk and a little flour to thicken that, which really is a white sauce. Put the butter in, salt, and of course you'd want to put pepper in that. Now we don't use pepper, but I'm sure everybody else in the world does. So you could just put a little pepper in, a little parsley if that's what you wanted, and you'd have it. Alright, so thanks Regan for writing that comment. I appreciate it. It reminded me of these potatoes and my grandmother. Alright, so we're getting ready to eat, and I'm going to dish this up and show you what it looks like. Okay, we are ready to eat our lunch, and there are the potatoes. And Regan, I sure hope that's what you're talking about. Now, you would probably want to put a little pepper on those, and a lot of people do put a little parsley in there, kind of chopped up a little bit. But anyway, I made just enough for just the two of us. This is the hamburger and gravy that was left over from yesterday. Green beans with a little bit of olive oil and a couple of dashes of garlic powder. Biscuit that was previously frozen. I just warmed it up in the toaster oven. And there you have it. This will be our big meal for the day. Alright, I hope y'all will try the potatoes this way. And Regan, I hope this is what you were talking about. Thanks again. See y'all next time.